Hey guys, Ron Soda here, back again to another movie review, and today we will be reviewing Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Now, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, this is one that is regarded to be one of the worst of the franchise. And this one definitely took a huge change, from the Halloween franchise. Now, do I agree with that? Yes, I definitely agree with that. I mean, it's not the dead worst, because Halloween Resurrection I still feel like is like the absolute dead worst, but this one, it's not the dead worst. I like it better than Halloween the Curse of Michael Myers, and spoiler for my next video, but I actually like this movie better than Halloween Ends too, if I'm being completely honest. But I'll have a review for Halloween Ends tomorrow, and I did end up watching that, but I'll bring out my thoughts in that video. But this movie, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. This is a very, very weird movie. I mean, it's not as weird as Halloween Ends, which I thought Halloween Ends was even more weird. This is like, cause like this and Halloween Ends are the two Michael Myers movies in the franchise that take like a huge change, and I would say Resurrection, but it did like a completely awful change that you would just say is not even a part of the franchise. But um. But with this, yeah, I'm trying to make a lot of changes. Some of them worked for me, some of them didn't. Such as they kind of ruined Michael's appearance in this movie. I mean, Michael still is cool. Michael killing people, like he's big, he's strong, he loves killing people, but they kind of ruin his appearance though, because Michael in this movie looks so weird. Michael, like literally, it shows you how he looks like in the disc, like how weird does that look like? Like half his mask is taken off, and then like he's all chubby, and he's like some chubby hippie lumberjack or something like that. Like, he looks a lot like that because he has like a long ass beard, long ass hair. Yeah, and he always has a hoodie on. Like his outfit just makes him look like a hippie lumberjack. Yeah, Michael Myers, like he didn't look so well in this, and then they also ruined the whole thing of Michael Myers with the mask, because this whole movie literally shows you Michael without his mask a lot. Like, literally, it shows you him without his mask with like the whole ugly bearded face, and it's like maybe it would have been cool if like he had a cooler face, but it's because it's always the ugly bearded face. I'm not interested. So yeah, like I don't like that appearance of Michael at all, but I would say it was cool how they gave him a hoodie, but if he wasn't chubby and with a beard and all of that, like it could have worked, but it didn't. But Michael did look really cool in the beginning. Like when the movie was first starting, he looked really cool, but right after that, like right after the first 30 minutes of the movie, and then when we see Michael again, like they ruined his appearance. They didn't ruin his character. I thought his character was still okay in this movie, but they definitely ruined like something of him in the end. But okay, okay, I'm just gonna be honest. Like I'm mixed with Michael in this movie. Like I like him, but at the same time I don't like him. You know. But what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? But there was something in the end that really ruined really ruined it. But I'll get to that. Oh, and if you haven't seen this movie, I will get into some very very major spoilers. So please do this review if you haven't seen this movie. Now, what else was I gonna say? What else was I gonna say about this movie? I was gonna say something else about Michael. Yeah, I forgot, but yeah, like I said, Michael's kills in this movie were pretty cool. I would say, like the kills in this movie were really cool. Like I'll give credit for that. Like I loved all the kills in this movie. They were very well done. They looked pretty cool. They were bloody. They were great. Like the kills, like they were creative too. So yeah, the kills were great in this movie. And another positive I can say about this movie is the scenery. Like I love where they filmed this movie, and like big fields, like big green fields, and like the forest, and like a small town. I don't know why, but I just really like the setting of this movie. Like I love that whole scenery of just like big green fields and a small town. So yeah, I really dug that scenery. Anything else I should say about this movie? Any other positives? And another positive is this movie's pretty enjoyable, I would say. Like, I actually really enjoyed this movie. Like, whenever I'm marathoning Michael Myers and I come to this, and I'm like, alright, I'm just gonna turn my mind off and watch a stupid movie. So, yeah, but like, so yeah, it's pretty enjoyable, and what else? What else was I gonna say? There are a few more positives about this movie. I mean, not a few more, like a couple more positives that I like, but I'll get into that like once I start getting more to the review. So, let's talk about the characters in this movie now. Now, the characters in this movie were kind of suck. Not gonna lie. Like, I didn't give a jack shit for any of these characters, and to be honest, yeah, none of them. Like, literally, there's not one character I can think of that I gave a shit about in this movie because they all fucking sucked. They were either annoying, weird, or just like you wanted them to die. You know, like or yeah, yeah. That's pretty much what the characters were. Were just annoying and weird. Like Lori, like originally, like when I first saw this movie, I thought Lori was kind of interesting, but like as I rewatch it more, I like Lori less, cause like in this movie they pretty much ruined Lori like once again, cause they made her like some depressed bitch that's always cussing all the time, and she's always like she's always so selfish, she's like I don't know, but I don't know, but like I just don't like her. Like she's way too bitchy, and um what's her name, Scott Taylor Compton, I think that's her name, or something like that. The actress who plays her in this movie just was very off. Like a lot of times in this movie her acting was really off, and I did not like her acting much. Like this one scene where she was ranting to her therapist, like, I want a prescription. Like her acting was so fucking bad in that scene. Anything else I should say? But there were other times I thought she acted good, like when she was acting scared and she was trying to run away from Michael. Like those parts she acted pretty good, but everything else no. And just I just don't dig her at all. Like I just don't dig like her motivation, her going crazy after she thought she killed Michael, and she literally like just going crazy for, like pretty much for no reason because she didn't. And I don't know, like they never did Lori like that in any of the other movies. I mean, they kind of made her depressed, but not to this fucking extent. So it's kind of weird. Anything else I should say about Lori? And then she finds out about her past about a little bit about her past in this movie too, and finding out that Michael Myers is her brother, which I did like that actually. Like I really liked how Lori actually found out herself that her brother is the one that tried to kill her, the one she supposedly killed. So yeah, I thought that was cool, but everything else about Lori I just didn't like. And then we have Annie coming back in this movie, Annie Brackett and Sheriff Brackett, which I wasn't interested in them at all. I thought Annie was kind of annoying, but I did think that what's her name, Danielle Harris, she did an okay job as Jamie. Like she wasn't bad as Jamie, but the character just was boring. And Sheriff Brackett, I thought he was kind of annoying at times. And what else? And then Sam Loomis. They totally ruined the fuck out of Sam Loomis in this movie. Like, I think that's the number one character I would say they literally ruined in this movie. Because Sam Loomis, you guys know him as like the cool Sam Loomis. If you guys hear noise in the background, it's my baby brother. Like he's crying his lungs out right now. So yeah, please don't mind that. Hopefully they calm him down soon. But what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Sam Loomis. They totally ruined him because we know him as like the cool Sam Loomis who always likes to help people from Michael. Like he always wants to protect people from the dangerous boogeyman of Michael, and he hates Michael, and he always wants to take him down. And yeah, that's really cool about Sam Loomis. But in this movie, they totally ruined him and just made him an asshole. Like, if you thought that Sam Loomis was an asshole in Halloween 5, just wait till you see this, because he literally doesn't give a shit. And he, like, at least in Halloween 5, you could understand it a little bit, because he's been through way too much already, and he literally just wants to kill Michael, like, and then once the ending of Halloween 4, like, triggered him to go like that. So at least it's understandable why Sam Loomis acts the way he acts in part 5. But in this movie, it's not understandable at all, because why the fuck does Sam Loomis go from helpful Sam Loomis in the first movie to an asshole Sam Loomis in this movie? It's weird, because in this movie, we have Sam Loomis trying to write a book, and then in his book, he literally, like, tells the grief and misery of the past victims, and he didn't even give them any credit for it. Like, he never like called them like, hey, is it okay if I use your grief and misery in the book, and well, can I pay you? And they were struggling too, so he could have at the least just done that. That makes him so much of a fucking asshole. And he literally, and he regrets being a doctor too, because there's this one scene where he looks at a picture of him that's going to be in the back of his book, and he's like, no, that's old Loomis, this is new Loomis. And it's like, yeah, this is not Sam Loomis. Yeah. And what else? So yeah, Sam Loomis, he was just completely different in this movie. And the majority of the movie is just him going through like interviews and like being known to the press and all of that. And that's not Sam Loomis. Like, Sam Loomis is always protectful, but here, no. And he literally is just doubtful of Michael. He wants to believe Michael Myers is dead. He even yells to the press conference, "Michael Myers is fucking dead." And he doesn't even find out till the end. And he's not even like helpful Loomis till the very end of the movie, and super randomly, because he goes from being the asshole Loomis to being the helpful Loomis in literally 1 second. And it's like, yeah, how can you go from that to that again? But I did think there was one funny scene with Loomis in this movie. It was a cameo with Weird Al where he was doing a little interview, which I thought that scene was definitely the funniest scene of the movie. Like, I'm always entertained by that scene because they're doing an interview with him, and then they ask Loomis a question about how he thinks of like describing misery and guilt in this, and then he was about to answer, but then Weird Al answers him, like he interrupts him. And then what else? And then anything else I should say? And then there was another funny thing where he was like, if I survived a shark attack or something like that, and he's like, are you telling me there's no difference between Michael Myers and a shark? And then the funniest line in that scene where Weird Al is like, hey, I'm confused, are we talking about the Austin Powers Mike Myers, or yeah, that was like hilarious when they mentioned Austin Powers Mike Myers, because that always clicks my mind whenever I think of Mike Myers as Michael Myers. That's not Austin Powers or Shrek. It's always Michael Myers, because his name is very similar to that. So I like how they pointed that out. Anything else I should say? But yeah, like I said, Loomis, awful character. And I think that's all the characters in this movie. And there are other side characters in this movie too, like Laurie's new friends. I forgot their names, but they're her coworker friends, and I thought they were okay. I mean, they weren't interesting. Like, we just saw like a couple scenes of them, and they were okay. Like, I'll just say that they were okay. And then we have what else? What other characters? And then there's Michael's mom in this movie, which there's the whole subplot of like Michael seeing his mom as a white ghost, telling him what to do and encouraging him to kill. Which, to be honest, I kind of find that to be a little bit weird, but I can kind of see where that's coming from. We're trying to show you what's always inside Michael Myers' head. I thought that was a creative idea, but I don't know. It was just weird just to see a white ghost in a Michael Myers movie with a white horse. Yeah, but and then Michael Myers sees himself as a kid too, and like he talks to his mom as the 6-year-old self, which I mean the 10-year-old self. But and I really don't see why they didn't have the same actor from the first Halloween if this was only just 2 years after that movie. Anything else I should say about this movie? But yeah, Deborah Myers in this movie, I thought that whole subplot was weird. I'm just gonna say that it was just fucking odd. Anything else I should say about this movie? Okay, I think we should get on to the kills now, which... Oh, wait, before I talk about the kills, I real quick want to say that my favorite parts of this movie were definitely the first, like, 30 minutes or so of this movie with the remake of the original Halloween 2 in the hospital. I thought that scene was very excellently done, and if that was the whole movie, this movie could have been way better with, like, the cool Michael appearance, getting chased around the hospital, Michael killing people in the hospital, like in the OG Halloween 2, and then maybe ended off with her escaping the hospital and going to Haddonfield, and then there's, like, a whole, like, massacre there. Like, that would have been a much better movie if we just had that, but obviously we didn't, and Rob Zombie wanted to do something of his own. But I really enjoyed that whole like homage to the original Halloween 2 in the first 30 minutes, like when we see like Laurie in the hospital and like all her injuries from the first Halloween when she fell down the house with Michael and her going crazy from shooting Michael and Michael even coming after her in the hospital and Michael killing all the people in the hospital, which I thought that's when the best kills of the movie were. The best kills of the movie were in those scenes. And what else? But there was one scene in that like monologue that really creeped me out. I mean, not just like in like a horror way, but like in like a weird way, you know? It's this scene where these paramedics are like driving this Michael Myers' corpse to somewhere, and then they're talking about Linda's corpse, how fucking gorgeous she was, and like I would fuck that corpse, like I don't care if she's dead, like I would fuck her, and it's like, what? She's fucking dead and she's like underage. That's fucking creepy. Yeah, that was a very very creepy conversation right there. And but it was like but it right away became good when they got in a car accident and rammed over a cow, and then like they were all like dead, like the driver like got his jaw dislocated, and the one in the passenger seat, he got a lot of blood out of his mouth, and then Michael got out of the back, and then he took a piece of glass and started chopping his head off with it slowly and slowly. I thought that was a pretty dope kill, actually, like very creative kill. Yeah, that was a great kill. And then after that, we see him with the his mom, which I thought like a good like 75% of that monologue was real, but 25% of it wasn't, because as you guys may know, like the whole thing of Michael coming after Laurie in the hospital was a dream, but I think some of it was real, like Michael like killing those paramedics, and then just walking around in like the road, and then that's when he like ends up in the middle of the field, like towards the middle of the movie. And then what else? But and I think like them taking Lori to the hospital was real, and them like what else? Yeah, I think those are the only real parts of the movie, was just that whole scene. But right when we get to Michael coming after Lori, that's when it's not real. So yeah, so I think like a part of that was real though. Anything else I should say about that whole monologue? And then I thought this kill was really cool, actually, where Michael Myers kills the nurse, the nurse who was the same actress from the movie Ma. That was a really cool kill when he went inside the hospital and he was right there. He stabbed her he cut her in the nose, and then and then she fell to the ground, and then he just started stabbing her multiple times, and it was literally like showing like him just going up down with the knife. That was a really really cool kill, like definitely one of the best kills of the franchise. uh any other scenes? But yeah, that whole hospital scene, like it was so suspenseful too, like Lori running away from him and all her injuries, and the fact that she was having a headache too, she was in the rain, and what else? And then Michael would keep getting close to her. She even fell to like in like a pit with a bunch of dead bodies, which looked pretty gross. Anything else? And then we have her like hiding in this little like shed or something like that, and then Michael Myers goes in there and like he breaks all the windows, and then he stabs her with the axe, but she wakes up from there. Yeah, easily the best scene of the movie was just that, and I would say that whole 30 minutes of the movie really saved the movie. But what was I gonna say? So yeah, the first act definitely the best part of the movie. So kind of like with the first Halloween, the first half was great, but with this, it's more on the lines the first act instead of the first half. That was great. Um, Anything else I should say about this movie? Any other kills? And then I really like this kill with these like lumberjacks like beating up Michael in the middle of a field, and then Michael just gets mad and he puts on his mask, and then he starts stabbing them and beating them up, and then he grabs the girl and just continuously stabs her. So yeah, that was a great kill, and that was very very dark when it showed Michael eating a dog. That looked pretty disturbing, not gonna lie. Um, Anything else I should say? Any other kills? And then I like that whole massacre he does at the strip club where this one guy was gonna take out the trash and then he just like flips the guy and then like he smashes his head a bunch of times. That was a cool kill. And it was a cool kill when he killed that old man with his stripper girlfriend where he broke the bone in his arm and then he started like beating the shit out of him, and I believe he stabbed him, but then he grabbed the stripper and then just started banging her head like all around the walls. Yeah, pretty dark death. Uh, anything else? Any other deaths in this movie? Wait, before I get into another death, I real quick want to talk about the dream sequence of Lori where she's in a tomb with all these Halloween creatures. Yeah, very weird scene, I would say. Anything else I should say? Any other kills in this movie I should talk about? And then oh yeah, I also really enjoyed this scene too in the Halloween party where Laurie finds out like Michael Myers is her brother, and so she just wants to get faded and fucked up and party, and they go to this Halloween party and they all get drunk and shit. And I like the music a lot in that scene, and yeah, I don't know why, but I'm really entertained by that scene. And then Michael even kills like a guy dressed up as a werewolf who's gonna sleep with one of Laurie's friends. Michael Myers stabs him on the tree, and then he takes Laurie's friend and just strangles her. So yeah, cool scene. And then I also really like that scene where Michael Myers was in a neighborhood, and then one little kid ran into him, and he was like, "Hello, are you a giant? Can we be friends?" Yeah, that was a great scene. It would have been cool if we had a little bit more scenes like that in a neighborhood, but yeah, it's whatever. Anything else I should say about this movie? Any other kills? And then there was Annie's death, which Annie's death was pretty dark actually, and the fact that we didn't really get to see it, but the fact that we saw like her dead body, how she was naked and she was all bloodied up, like literally she looked like she was tortured. So yeah, that was a pretty sad scene where she died right there, and Laurie was crying for her. And then yeah, and then I like that scene, and then Michael ends up killing Laurie's other friend with like the white hair. So yeah, cool kill. And then after that, Michael like tries to chase after Laurie, but Laurie keeps running away from him. And then Michael like grabs her and then kills this other guy that was gonna like drive her away. Uh, and then there's the whole ending with the shed was odd to me actually. The fact that Laurie was being held by a little kid, Michael Myers, which was weird, and it was just he wasn't even really there. He was a ghost, and she was still being like grabbed by him, and even Sam Loomis was like, "It's all in your head, snap out of it." That I don't know. That scene was fucking weird. And then all the cops like made like a circle around there. They surrounded him, and then what else? And then yeah, Sam Loomis appearing there. Yeah, it seemed very random. Like I said, just him being helpful, Sam Loomis again. But like, I can definitely understand Sheriff Brackett wanting to kill him for pursuing their grief and misery in the book. And then like he was so mad right there. Oh yeah, real quick before I go on, I really liked how they gave us little clips of Danielle Harris as a kid. It gives you a lot of memories to Halloween 4. Not gonna lie, when they showed Annie die and it shows when she's a little kid, it's like a young Danielle Harris. So yeah, cool scene. And then what else? So when Sam like goes in the shed, like Michael grabs him and then he takes off his mask and then he stabs Sam and he's like, "Die!" Yeah, that's the one thing in the beginning of the review that I said that ruined Michael, because Michael doesn't talk. That was our very first time hearing Michael talk, and it was just weird just hearing him say, "Die!" out of nowhere, like randomly, and it's like, out of all times for him to talk, that's the time for him to talk. So yeah, very weird. And then after that, all the cops like gain up on him and start shooting him and shooting him. And then after that, Lori like walks out of the shed, and like it's implied that she turned crazy and she grabs the knife, and then the cops shoot her instead. Which I like the song that played a lot in that scene, the slow version of Love Hurts. Yeah, now great song, but weird ending though, cause it kind of really confuses me, cause at the end, Lori's in this like white room. It looks like the afterlife. She's just like in a white room. It could be the